Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into reality. I am your host, the Galactic historian, Andrew Bartzis, using my radio voice today. This is a live call in show. For those of you who want to call in, you can go to the show description and see a Zoom room link. You can go to the chat also. There'll be a link where you can come in and be a caller. We are encouraging everyone out there to come and talk to us. Our basic rules: if we've talked to you in the last month, please be respectful and wait for somebody else to call. If there is nobody calling in and you want to call in and it's been more than a month, that's fine too, but just be respectful. We are here to talk about everything and anything. We've had some strange things go on, like exploding pagers in Lebanon, followed up by exploding solar panels and CB radios. We will be covering all of this in the Loosh Report this coming Friday. With that being said, do we have a caller yet, Joel?
Yes, it looks like Dennis Bolden is in the Zoom room.
Dennis, let's spin up that caller for Dennis and see. Let's have a talk with him.
Hello, Andrew. How are you doing?
Dennis, how's it going, brother?
Very well. I didn't want to call in, but I guess that the universe wants it, so let's do
There you
it.
are. How you doing? It's been a while since we talked.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. I've been thinking like since the combined therapies I've had the experience where there was like a plasma light that came down on my forehead, and I really wanted to know what it was because I was thinking about it like for months.
So that was during the combined healing. What part of it?
So it was under the Lucia light. So I was
So what that was once your stress and anxiety cleared out and your adrenaline glands turned off, your crown chakra began working normally, and you just began perceiving your light from your crown chakra coming in. You were so full of adrenaline, so nervous, and the challenges of what was going on inside you. And once those were released, that was just your normal light coming in.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it was interior. Well, okay, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And I wanted also to know what are the little dots that I sometimes see in my aura when something comes in, like maybe beings or energies.
All right, so before you identify anything when you're seeing auric energies, 99% of the time, it is just your perception how the aura moves in and out of your eyes' capacity to see light and how your two eyes transit something to the third eye. Oftentimes, think of it like a focus where sometimes the third eye and the two eyes are working together, and sometimes the left eye is more dominant, working with the third eye, or the right eye is more dominant and the third eye is off. And that's called the trinity of vision and how aligned it is. And generally, when you're seeing spots and stuff move around, all that it is the eyes are aligning to the third eye, or the third eye is overwhelming the eyes.
Wow.
As you get more attuned to that journey and build up the perception muscle, what you discover is entities don't have movement in your aura. They try to cover that stuff up. They're like stealthy on their entrance into you.
Okay, so
You
they
really
have like a
you really no, hold on. You really need to be a skilled person in perception to see entities move through spaces and places.
hmm. Okay, so they make it look as if they are able to do some movement, but they actually can't.
No, they can cover themselves up where you have no perception of them coming in and out, other
Okay.
than an odd sense something isn't right. Like your sixth sense, your spider sense will turn on. Okay.
Okay. Yes. And how do you deal with psychic skills when you constantly like turn your third eye inwards? It seems like it doesn't work that well. What like other techniques do you have to maybe like
So
enhance?
in your situation, you're trying too hard.
Okay, I get
As
it.
long as you're trying to see vision, you will fail at it. Vision is the last thing you get on the practice journey. Okay. You have to create vision. That's why guided meditations for people who like, I want to see shit. When you have this internal, I want to see shit energy and you don't realize that it's subtly there, it actually blocks the vision. You go through the journey where your other senses will present data, and then your sixth sense will come together, and what you'll realize is vision is something we learn through guided meditation, where we get to this tipping point where I'm not making this shit up. And that's why it's important to practice varieties of meditation. Base meditation is no visualization, no sound, no input, no mind thought. And it's vital that you learn to practice zero mind thinking. And then there's guided meditation where you're doing creative visualizations that challenge you to think multidimensionally so that your visionary journey becomes strong. So when you are actually in an out of body experience or initializing one, you know how the framework of stuff works.
Okay, okay, it makes sense. So most of these psychic skills are like programs, let's say, until you actually go into silence.
Well, silence is the way you identify that the programs are being annoying. Okay.
Yes.
And then
Okay.
build up the muscle of silent meditation. Okay. And I always
Hmm.
tell people do not do a mono practice. You need variety, variety, variety in your beginning. Okay.
Yes.
It's the variety that actually raises your frequency higher on a regular basis versus sticking with one thing and thinking you're going to master it, but only you're master of one subject matter and not the rest of the basics. Learn to get intermediate in all the basics. It will greatly advance your journey.
Okay. Yes, thank you. And I wanted to know what's the amount of ancestors and beautiful beings that are usually around you? Like, is it in the thousands or does it go in the hundreds of thousands? Like, what's the scale that
No,
you're working
it's
at?
generally in the handful, 4 to 5.
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
there are other layers of ancestors we could easily tune into, and
Okay.
they can number in the hundreds, yes, and even more, depending where you are on the surface of the world. There are certain spots where ancestral energies are very powerful, and the veil between the multiple realms of realities is very thin, and there can be a perception of more of them.
Okay. Okay, so it's not like collectives where they're like by the thousands when it comes to your DNA lineage and soul family.
Well, no, there are collectives, but you got to work up to that journey.
Yes. Okay. And I wanted to ask you about the unity consciousness and the shards. Like you said that if you have one shard that goes through the line, that you basically kind of have made it. But it's like a trailer. And I wanted to know like how far are we from this point? Like, does it take like 10, 20 years, or is it like pretty fast?
Let me simplify it. You, Dennis, living today, has thousands of life that go into the ancient past, and the you, Dennis, of today, has thousands of life going into the ancient future. You are
Yes.
just one point in a linear time perception. And when you're not in linear time, you're all of your past, present, and future simultaneously existing.
Hmm.
Dennis will be in another body, in another life, in another thing, in another expression, who won't be Dane Dennis, but many of the aspects of this Dennis will be reinvested into a future life to resolve karmas. But the original Dennis will be a part of the grander avatar as a living being who was in time at one point in history. Okay, so how far in the future do you go? Tens of thousands of years. That's why many, many aspects of what off-world people think are future people coming back to now during the time of the great change, because they're realizing what ended up happening to the souls of many people here is they generated several dozen avatars to manage the powerful souls that were with them on many timelines that were part of the grander evolution of the human species.
Okay. Okay. And on the subject of source connection, how do you do, except for contractual vocations, to not get stuck in these? Like I think you told that it was like astral realms when you make the tube to the sun, and you can get stuck into a false realm, a false reality. And I
Well,
was wondering if
false realms and false realities exist in our narrative, what we live in. Whether it's the patriot programming, the religious programming, the this, the that, the whatever,
Mhm.
and then there's spiritual issues and spiritual realms and hell realms, etc., etc. That's just part of modern living. Let's go back 1,000 years. Hell realms were nowhere near as powerful as they are today, but hellish beings lived in the world. See how it's different now?
I see. Okay.
Eh? So
Yeah.
now they've moved to the hell realms because they can harvest more energy there. Now, contract revocation is the first part of learning to claw back your power. And
Hmm.
after a while, it's not clawing back your power, it's claiming your power. Then after a while, it's using your voice to create self-help motivation and the reconnection of faith. Because it is the light of the self inside that doesn't need a revocation. It can generate a light to end that aspect of a self that's in a hell realm or a negative realm, but it still takes an awake and aware person on the regular journey of a daily practice, mastering the energy techniques of knowing what it takes to raise your frequency at the snap of a finger. That's why that daily practice with big variety is so important, because there's so many different aspects of negative and false realms that just need the consciousness, the I am, to muster the ability to say no with enough strength. You can pull yourself and any of your shards out of it.
Okay. And talking
As
about
well as
shards,
free,
yes.
as well as free other people's shards. And once
Okay.
you get really strong, like I can go into the realm of a hell realm that clients are in and pull their shards right out and end up destroying the realms and making sure that they can't regenerate. I've mastered that in 20 years of doing what I do.
And how do you deal with, for example, I saw a past life where I was, I guess, a oligarch in Russia, and I think my death was overtaken by false light technology. And I wanted to know how can I, first of all, like maybe deal with the fact that we did like ceremonies on drugs, like the
Well,
cartel ceremonies, and then the
first thing first is you are over focusing on the past. And I
okay.
say this to everyone that is out there. I mean, it's the way that the culture and society of light workers are. They tell you past life this, and everybody thinks it's their past lives changing and affecting them now. You were
Mhm.
born here. Yes, past lives have an effect on you, but they don't have a dominant perception. And
Okay.
unfortunately, we give them a dominant perception. If you
Mhm.
keep your work as focused here on between the relationship between you and your dad, what you'll discover is there was some time in your childhood that the relationship went the wrong way. And what you do have to do is create an immunization inside you that doesn't create hate or vengeance towards your father or to anyone that's on that journey. And because you've had that vision, it's saying there are influences from the past, but they are not the dominant ones. It's
Mhm.
the ones that were created today and the traumas that are in you today, even if they have a repeating pattern of dozens of lifetimes in the past.
Okay. Okay, yeah, well, it makes a lot of sense. And how would you like? I mean, right now I have a lot of trips that I had in the past, and I wanted to know how can you make the peace come back again? How can you make the negativity stop and actually integrate the experience?
That comes from healthy living, enjoying life, having a regular ceremonial practice, having prayer, having an entertaining life, cutting out the people who are negative from your life, like excess friends or extremely negative family members, not becoming a hermit, making sure your life is moving forward and not backwards. That is how you turn the light on. That is how you turn the happiness on. Okay. And it's learning to delicately balance all of those parts of the journey and not let yourself go to imbalance because you obsessed about this thing or that thing. Or let's say it's not about obsession. It's you had a breakup in a relationship and it hurt and it hurt and it hurt. And you just let that hurt go on for too long before you did something about it. Okay. A lot of people go through that journey. Okay.
Okay. And I wanted to know when you do colonics, do you usually use water from bottles, or do you make it from the tap, or do you like heat it up? And
See, what I do if I'm doing a home colonic,
yeah.
not an edible, big difference. So I
Hmm.
have a 5 gallon bucket that has a gravity fed tube in it that goes into the colonic piece that goes into the rectum. I
Yes.
use tap water, but I
Okay.
boil my tap water and I make sure the bucket that I'm using is heavily sanitized, cleaned out. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking about 10 bags of black tea and boiling that water and then letting it slowly cool down to acceptable temperature. There are people that use distilled water. Everyone has their own choice. Me personally, I'll just use regular tap water and then get it to a rolling boil. And once it's at a rolling boil, I turn it off. I add the tea bags. I keep stirring around so it's nice and dark. What the tea bags do, they have a light amount of caffeine in them, and that activates the gut's version of peristalsis. So it makes it easier for your gut to go through that journey of peristalsis to expel and expel and expel more stuff.
Okay, so if I take random tea from the store, it's not a problem that there
Like
may
a
be
general
inside.
black tea, not cinnamon, okay? Like a
Okay. Yes.
general unflavored black tea,
Okay.
okay?
Yes. And what's the difference between the gallbladder cleanse and the colonics? What things can a colonic do that Epsom
All right, so
salt can do?
a colonic can trigger a gallbladder, a liver, a kidney. It can trigger all of those to dump stuff out. There'll
Yes.
be various colors and foams and stuff coming out that will signal the different ducts and glands that are flushing stuff out. Now, if you do regular colonics, you can feel when the liver opens up. You can feel you could just tell. So when you do something that's specific, that's a liver cleanse or a gallbladder cleanse, you're doing something where you're taking pills that have a variety of herbs inside them that trigger a flushing state. Some that are more sensitive to the liver, some are more sensitive to heavy metals, some are sensitive to the gallbladder or the kidneys. And they generally are taking that for 2 weeks. And at the end of that, you will have had a pretty decent flush of those specific glands.
Okay. Yes. And I wanted to ask you: is there something that we could do to remove the neuro linguistic programming from like cartoons that we were watching when we were kids, like SpongeBob? Is there like something that we could do, like in particular, to change the belief system?
The answer is you've already listened to it and it's already in there. Okay. And it's a
Mm.
matter is how is it affecting your personality?
Ah.
That's the key. And then once you see how it affects your personality, there's where you go, all right, this is where I have to exercise my free will and not allow that neuralistic programming to take over my patterns, my thoughts, my structures, my word orders.
Okay, so if you go back in time and like mirror this information out of you, it won't really work.
Generally, no.
Ah,
Unless
okay.
you're really a top level psychic surgeon, but
Mhm.
still such a deep central nervous system because you listen to it at such a young age. It's at such a foundational level of the nervous system. It takes the I am at the adult level to say no and continuously say no enough until the program gets significantly less in power until you start to exercise major forms of free will beyond no, where the no has so much strength behind it, it begins to erase the neurolinguistic programming from your modern structure. And then you create
Okay.
new neural pathways that no longer use it. And that's the journey of abandoning a negative journey into neurolinguistic programming. You have to abandon those old neural pathways that use that on a regular basis and create new neural pathways that don't use that structure.
Okay.
That's why I tell everyone your best tool and part of one of your spiritual journeys is a thesaurus. Every phone can connect to a thesaurus. And one of the reasons why I got so good at wordsmithing and word ordering is when I was 17 going on 18 and wanted to be a good writer, I had a thesaurus, a little pocket thesaurus everywhere I went. And every day I would try to work in one new word that I never had used before in my life. And anytime I ran into a thing, I would open up that thesaurus and look for alternate words. So I stopped repeating my words.
Okay,
Eh?
that's smart. And I wanted to know what types of pheromones that we could work on, like enhancing. Like I know there's the I am healer pheromones, and I wanted to know what types of other ones we may not be
Okay,
aware
so
of.
the first pheromone everyone should work on because it's the most important one is the inner forgiveness pheromone.
Okay, okay,
We work on pheromones that affect us and not about others. Okay. We learn how to use our pheromones to our advantage. Forgiveness pheromone first, the inner forgiveness. And then the second one is a general happiness pheromone, where you feel that happiness through your own pheromone expression, and others can sense it when you walk into a room. And then the third one is really about longevity, health, those are the three to start with. And when you get good enough at them, you can go and start working on some of the more advanced pheromones that we put into our blood in the heart meditation.
okay, okay.
Hey, brother,
Cool.
I can move on to the next call. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much. Have a nice show. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right,
Bye.
so anybody that's in the chat room right now, click on the reaction button, click raise your hand. We are assuming if you are in the chat room, you're going to be here for a conversation with me. Come on, you chicken shits.
Bark, 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 bark.
Buck, 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 buck.
And those of you watching on Rumble or YouTube, you scroll down in the show description. You can find options to join us in the Zoom room, whether from your phone or computer, or you can call in. Oh, we got a hand from Arcy.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring in Arcy. Arcy, signal to unmute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing today, darling?
Good, thank you. And you?
Good. It's been a little while since we talked. How you doing?
I know it has. Well, just finished the course for sensual. I can't pronounce it correctly. Meditation.
Uh-huh.
And I just wanted your 2 cents on that. I'm loving it.
Transsensual?
Well, no, I can't pronounce it correctly because it's called
Transcendental meditation, TCM.
Yes, TM.
Yeah, TM. Yes, very powerful technique of learning how to be in the null space until such a time the greater collective wisdom comes in you and can give you a collective wisdom of nullness or an expansion. Yes. And many people they spend their entire weekend in a TM state. Yes, it's a big thing. Been around for about 40 years now.
Okay. I am. It's just been a few days so far, but I am really enjoying it.
Good. It is the first part of learning TM. The mastery of silence can be challenging for a lot of people. And once you get really good at silencing the mind, what you'll hear is the higher chorus of spirit deep, deep in the silence. And the more silence you create, it comes a little closer until you realize it's not the mind speaking. Okay? It's not a program speaking. It's not an external source speaking. It's your high connected avatar in non-agenda time waiting for you to come in and have a chat of hello, I'm in this TM state. and what's the next part of understanding the non-time, non-agenda that can give you the greatest benefit at human potential and growth.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, the chatter comes in and goes. So I just have to continue practicing.
Like I said, that's the hardest part of it, is turning the chatter off.
Okay.
Right? Your ultimate goal as a new TM student is to reach the mystical number of 16 minutes with zero thought, and your mind not thinking if the 16 minutes have come up yet or not. So how you're going to ask is, how do you know it's 16 minutes? That's where you use an alarm and it goes off. And then the challenge is to go back into the state as fast as possible and let the alarm go another 16 minutes until you've been able to get 5, 6, 7, 16 minutes at a time and the ability to go back into the space. That's what mastering TM is. Now, there are other teachers that won't like the 16-minute thing, but once you get to that journey where your mind's disconnected from counting, you're reaching an extended journey where you're maintaining the silence. You won't need the alarm clock. I call it like it's like a metronome of training. You won't need any of that. You'll enter the space. You'll stay there. You'll go deeper and deeper and deeper into the void until you're in another realm. Okay, literally in another realm.
Okay.
But you also need a clean spirit to regularly practice TM. Okay, and you have one. I mean, you're not haunted or anything, but there are a lot of other people that want to try TM, and they never actually are in the TM state. They're just in their haunted mind states.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah, I'm glad I took the class.
Yeah, no, it's a good expansion for you.
Yeah. And then long time ago, well, it feels like a long time ago, you had recommended that I do card reading.
Yes.
So guess what I did? I signed up for classes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm enjoying it. It's pre-recorded, do at your own time, but the teacher's always available. So I'm enjoying listening to them. I do my own practice, but I haven't like practiced with the class yet. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, yeah, two other things. One is that my 19-year-old dog passed away yesterday.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you knew it was coming, though.
Yes, I did know it was coming. And right after he passed away, the doctor gave the shot to him, the vet. I saw him in his puppy body walking on a path like a puppy, like he had his sprint and his joy back. And he turned around and looked at me, wanted to make sure that I'm seeing him. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of people have that experience. I had a very similar experience with my dog, Ralph, and he regularly comes back in his puppy form whenever I'm in a melancholy state. Eh?
Nice. Nice.
But that was a way for you to let go. Okay?
Well, right before the vet came, I hardly ever throw up. I actually went and I threw up like I've never thrown up before.
Yes, the energy's got too much for you. The inner anxiety of the loss, the impending loss. That dog got you through a lot of ups and downs, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, that dog was your best buddy. Okay?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He was a family member.
Right. 19 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm dogless now for, I think about now 24 years I've had dogs.
Right, so I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Do not wait more than 2 months and get a new dog.
Oh,
I'm
don't.
serious. Don't wait more than 2 months. Get a new dog and get a puppy.
Oh, that's horrible news, advice.
No, no, it's not. Okay.
I just want to be free and travel, and I'm still in an apartment.
Okay. Well, you don't have to listen to all of my words. Okay. But at the end of that 2 months, you might hear me in your voice going, "I'm get a dog." Okay.
Yes, you do have that habit.
I know. I nag a lot of people in the background. Okay. You had 19 years of a pet there, always there for you. It's
Yes,
hard when you're not there. Okay.
right, right. Yes,
Plenty of people that travel with their dog. You can get a little teacup dog and put it in your purse. Okay.
right.
Okay. Plenty
And
of people do that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All
Okay.
right, all right. Well, I'm always on a delay with your advices.
That's fine. At least you listen.
Yes.
You got to have those moments. He doesn't know what he's talking about. God damn it. And then 5 months later, fuck, he's right.
Yes. And a puppy too. Oh my God. They're adorable, but they're so much work.
Yes, but you get to shape their personality.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
You get to shape their personality, and what they give back to you during that journey is beautiful memories, even when they're pooping and peeing, until they finally learn where to do it and how to do it. Okay?
Yeah. So, will any of them come back?
Quite possible. You
Okay.
won't know until you try, do you?
Right. Right. All right. My last question. So another chicken shit, as you put it, can step up. My work,
Uh-huh.
my full-time job, not my healing job. I really want to get a new job. Do you see that in the near future?
What are you doing now?
I am working for a vacation resort. I'm a marketing rep, so it's kind of sales,
Okay.
and it's commission based.
Are you beginning to realize it requires a lot of upfront personal mental effort to create in you?
Yes.
And it's not worth what you get back, the amount of effort of the mind and socialization that you got to put out?
Yeah, not for this job, right? I mean, I needed to learn this.
Okay, great. It helped you there.
So
You need
yeah,
to find another job that's not going to give you that challenge, but it's still going to give you the potential of earning. Okay. Or you try to invest more into your healing business and try to get more of that to work and make up some of it. So you only have to find a part-time job.
okay. And how do I do the latter? Work on
Very,
the healing
very
business.
carefully. Very
What?
carefully.
Very carefully.
It's a joke. Okay. That's the price. That's the journey of doing your business. You
Yeah.
got to trial and error, trial and try. And then you got to realize what's holding you back. And that's just you when it comes to the business. Okay.
Right.
You've already learned what it took to make sales. Reapply some of that energy to your own business.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right, Arcy. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, dear.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Bye.
Yep. Let's see. Anybody want to raise their hand here? Let's see. We have Jason, signal to unmute? Jason,
Hi, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Wow, I can't believe I figured this out. This is unbelievable. Hey, I've been listening to you since the Galactic history up in Shasta. I don't know how many years it's been now, but
2013, June 2013.
my goodness, time flies. Thanks for picking me up. I guess I would love to have a soul reading if you could read my soul.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself so I can tune in.
Yeah. Usually you would ask people to, what was the first thing they did in the morning when they woke up.
I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that in about 2 years.
Yeah, well, my body's 56. My name's Jason. Grew up in Newport Beach.
What do you do?
What do I do for a living? I'm pretty much doing gig work, doing food delivery, DoorDash, taking a lot of people to the airports in Orange County, California.
Do you have an educational background?
No, not really. I've just kind of been bouncing around different jobs my whole life. From a courier to a restaurant owner to selling shoes.
So any hobbies that you have?
Yeah, I mean, my passions in life, I mean, all my friends are psychics, mediums, healers, shaman. So I love to do energy work when I can. But basically, I've just been working 7 days a week for many years just to keep my overhead down and invest as much as I can into crypto. And
how much have you put into crypto?
Got about 30 grand into the ISO coins. Yeah, I've traded.
I'm gonna be blunt. I don't know how crypto is going to survive the coming market crash.
Right. I understand. I've got some.
You got to make your own personal choice. And if you're still working 7 days a week, you're burning yourself out and never going to give yourself time to develop any of those psychic skills that could turn into a profession. You do have that built into you. Like from the first moment I started giving you a reading, you're what I call failure to launch when it comes to the spiritual journey. All your friends are doing it, but you will not launch your own path into that as a career for whatever internal, financial, or spiritual reasons. Okay? Your belief is I gotta work these jobs, earn this money. And if you put 30,000 into crypto, let's say you actually ended up putting 18,000 into crypto and saved 12,000 for yourself and wouldn't took a bunch of spiritual classes, myofascial release, cranial sacral therapy, hypnotherapy, by now you would have been ready to take that on as a career path. And you wouldn't need that much money to do that. You could do that with about 2 grand. Okay?
Right.
My first piece of advice to you is, you've got to begin to launch the path that has been a passion in you and understand it can become a part-time career path over the next year and a half that can develop into a full-time journey. And whenever you find yourself low on cash, you can go do the gig work to make things up. But this over saving energy is a negative karma in you. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. You think Reiki would be? I mean, when someone
you're at a point you can't take the simple shit. You need something that actually challenges your mind to go through the deep comprehension journey that gets you out of gig work mind space into a comprehensive journey that engages the inner genius that's in you that's just been dormant for a while.
So, which healing modalities you think will stimulate me?
Well, it's a matter if you want to convert to practice or you want to give yourself an extended journey before you pick up the practice. I would say you can go and take something like cranial sacral therapy, but in California to practice, you need a licensed massage therapy degree. You need an LMT class. You don't have to do it. Take the class and learn it. There
Yeah.
are 1 year and 2 year journeys into the mastering of cranial sacral therapy, and you'll be working on people the entire time. They'll be working on you. It'll be a massive, massive opening for your inner genius who's been starving to do this type of work. And once you start feeding that part, you'll have a better way of creating a strategy and vision of, all right, how do I begin to make the transition? And that transition is, all right, I got to carve time out, spend money on myself. Once I finish this mastery journey, you can go and take a 4 month or 3 month class and be licensed in massage therapy, countrywide. And from there, you begin to say, all right, how am I going to get clients? And because you are a hustler from gig work, you should be able to convert that to getting clients.
Great. Yeah. I mean, will I see a pretty quick response in people when I work on them? Because I really like, lighting people up and them walking out my door with a smile on their face.
So body work is one of those things. People can reject it the second you walk off the table, and there are other people that will be glowing like an orgasm afterwards. And once you get between 50, 60, 75 clients under your belt, is when you begin to realize that your vision of working on people now will be completely different once you've gotten bigger volumes of clients. There will be certain clients you will never, never make feel better because they're broken inside. Okay. Now,
Sure.
if you were to specialize in something like myofascial release or go and take something like an advanced rolfing class, you will begin to see a lot more bigger changes. Okay. And that would be something that would be in your wheelhouse that is challenging enough to get you out of gig space mind and into I'm here to learn this. And my lifelong passion of spirituality will ignite the genius and wake it up from its hibernation.
Yeah, I'm
And
really good.
you will see those moments where you work on people and they glow afterwards. Okay?
Yeah, I'm really good with my hands.
I agree. You have the energy there, but once again, the inner genius that's really good at that stuff is dormant inside you in a hibernated state.
Right, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. Yes.
Piece of advice is look up myofascial release as a class. Go and take it at a mastery level, and when you're done with it, you can go and take the massage therapy class. Unless in California they force you to take the massage therapy class first. Every state is different, okay? But take the money out of the crypto or put the money aside from what you're earning now. Cut yourself down to 4.5 days a week or 5 days a week so you have energy back in your space and start getting excited for that thing. Really, really let that passion ignite in you. You should be having a spiritual heart on metaphorically for this stuff, going to do it.
Yeah, it's been there and been dormant. Now, how about speaking in front of people with what I've learned spiritually?
That is a natural journey for you, but once again, it's dormant, it's hibernating. Can you just walk on a stage and turn it on? I think you could, but you'll sprain a spiritual ankle and it'll be hard to repeat for you. It isn't easy speaking on stage and having what to say. But what you can start doing is during your free time, during gig space, is turn on your cell phone and figure out a motivating speech. Here's how to get out of, here's the self-help speech that you could just literally like a rabbit out of a hat, pull out of your ass, turn it on. Practice turning it on. Okay?
Yes. How about a YouTube channel or interviewing people, near-death experiences, starting there and going, seeing where that branches out? What's your advice on that?
So I'm a bit jaded when it comes to interviewing people because I've interviewed so many people and I've been interviewed so many times. And I'm really sick of idiot people asking idiot questions. I'm jaded,
Right.
but from my advice, if you're going to try to turn on your inner genius, the cop out energy is interviewing. Real activating you is going balls deep into the healing side and understand once you finish learning healing, your whole world is opened up to you that you will be able to take on the stage and make a part of a conversational topic that turns into stage work that is a bigger craft for you. Okay?
I hear you. I hear you. Am I one of those souls where on my Akashic records have been lined out in black ink so that I haven't had, so that I don't have as many problems or
No,
frustrations in this life?
no. You have quite a few problems and frustrations. You just don't observe them as it. Example, this fanatic over saving in you has starved you of some of your greater shit inside you.
Right.
While all of your other friends went into that journey, you didn't. Okay? Imagine if 6 years ago or 5 years ago, you didn't save as much and invested into the time where all your other friends were becoming professional psychics and healers. They would have all been your contemporaries now.
I hear you. Just that I've been following Bitcoin since it was, at 200 bucks and didn't have two nickels.
Listen, I have no problem. I have my own problem with Bitcoin because of the rug pulling that goes on, but I have no problem with you saving. You just don't need to save so much. Okay?
Right. Right.
That's the key. You don't need to save so much. And that's actually a negative karmic thing inside you. Okay? You've starved yourself and overworked yourself for 30 grand in the bank. At how old are you?
The body's 56.
You're 56 with 30 grand inside a potential something that could explode or go bankrupt. Okay? And that's for the
Right.
whole economy, not just crypto. Okay?
Yes. Now the viruses that I have, am I going to be able to get rid of these STDs eventually? The last thing I want to do is transfer this to somebody else.
What do you have?
Oh, just warts, tags, but just warts that
Skin tags are not sexually transmitted. They're generally a skin issue. You could have all of those removed by a cryotherapy. How many warts do you have, and generally where are they?
well, I would say venereal warts, my friend. They've pretty much spread throughout my body.
How many?
Oh, I mean, it's hard to tell, between a tag and a wart, but everywhere from my legs to the top of my head.
You need to go to a doctor and you need to figure out what can be done. There are some unique medicines out there that deal with that. You probably have something that's going on that's uh, uh, a major autoimmune disease going on, or you have a something in your skin or in your blood that's recreating it.
Yeah, my body's pretty acidic. I was thinking about getting some black salve and just smearing that all over the place.
That won't do shit to it. It's too advanced. It's in the blood already. There is no
Right.
naturopathic way to get rid of this. You need to go to a doctor, and you need to stick with what they give you.
I don't really have.
I'm going to reiterate, there is no naturopathic way to fix it when it's that advanced.
Right. I just don't have a lot of faith in doctors.
Well, if you want to get rid of it, this is one of those moments where you get to heal your faith in doctors. I had to go through a healing of faith in doctors in 2021 where I was in the hospital from allergic reaction to a medicine I'd been taking forever. Okay. And I
Right.
renewed the faith in the medical doctors from that journey. And I've had a completely different perception and point of view of it. And if you've been listening to my show for a while, I regularly tell people to go to the goddamn doctor and self-diagnosing. Self-diagnosing is the worst thing in the light worker community. They make shit worse. Stop being afraid of the doctor, especially if you've got warts from your head to their toe. Go to the doctor. Get that taken care of. Get that out of your residual energy image so you can feel human again.
Right. I mean, there are not many, but you know, a couple here and there.
Doesn't matter.
Concern.
It's already affected you enough to just ask me about it. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Any other advice?
Yeah. You said you'd ran restaurants for a while?
No, I owned a restaurant for a little while. I've been in sales most of my life.
Okay. What kind of restaurant was it?
It was a Mexican restaurant. Had a partner who I bought 50% of, and he ended up being a thief and tied to the Mexican mafia, and so I got out of there as quickly as I could. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, talking to 200 people a day, you know, but it was a lot of work too.
Yeah,
you know.
all restauranting is. How good of a cook are you?
I mean, I'm a perfectionist, but I mean, not that great.
What kind of house or apartment do you live in?
My friend's condo. Universe has been kind enough to let me stay a few places rent free for the last year and a half. Probably will be there for another 6 months to maybe 9 months.
And then where are you going to go?
Who knows? Stay locally in Orange County.
Here's a suggestion. Do you have an area where you have a little bit of a backyard enough to put a barbecue grill?
No, it's the second floor of a condo.
So you have no outdoor space to do anything?
They just put up scaffolding yesterday. They're going to be painting and tearing stuff off in the outside. There is a bit of a balcony, but
okay. So if they're done, is there enough room on the balcony to put an outdoor grill?
Yeah, barbecue, I guess. Yeah.
There is an energy in you that's coming from the karma of food service, that flame and food can ignite inside you some very catalyzing energies. Okay. And because you're a perfectionist and a shitty cook, it means you can begin to learn the journey of being an outdoor griller and understanding there is a spiritual perception you can apply to it that has prayers over the food, into the cycle of growing, putting prayers into the propane tank, all sorts of things that you can double up your spiritual perception and then start consuming some of that stuff that you cook. It has a great way of reinitializing that energy inside you that enjoyed talking to 200 people a day. Okay? And then redirecting it back into their journey of becoming a healer.
Right. Yeah, it was amazing to see people come in. They would just come into my restaurant just to talk with me, not even so much order the food. Have movie stars tell me that my food was great. Just really opened up my heart chakra at that time, and really kind of blew me away.
It can repay you. And again, as simple as an outdoor barbecue. Can you do it indoor in an oven? The answer is yes. Okay. The answer is absolutely yes, but you got to find the passion to start cooking again and understanding how to apply the spiritual side to it. And then you start eating that food that's got all that spiritual energy in it and allow it to start to catalyze the internal stagnant energies in you.
Okay. Sounds good. Be something I've never done before, but I mean, I love the fire. I've been to over 500 sweat lodges. You know, I've done over 30 ayahuasca ceremonies, et cetera, et cetera. So I love the fire. I love the stone people. I love that.
Reinitialize it on your daily self practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
You're what it will catalyze in you and change in you.
You think the revocations I need to work on also?
Yes, but you're going to probably have to develop your own.
Mm-hmm.
You could start with what's there, okay? And then begin to write your own specific to your ups and downs and the challenges of your life.
Great. Well, I really like the you know, the energy worker, body worker journey.
Yeah, like I said, you can't do the easy route. You have to do the challenging mind route. Okay? If you take the easy route, you won't go anywhere with it. You'll go back to
Right.
good working. Okay? Myofascial release is my suggestion for you. And it's a matter of, can you start the myofascial class without the prerequisite of LMT, the licensed massage therapy? And if you can do a full mastery course in myofascial release, you could easily be $150 an hour practitioner. Okay, a pain management specialist and work in a pain clinic.
Yeah, my father wrote 7 books on nutrition. He was one of the first clinical nutritionists, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been around pain management my whole life.
Karma right there. Do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's karma. All the more reason to do it. And you're in Orange County, there's dozens of myofascial teachers everywhere. It's a matter of is it weekend classes you're taking? Is it a multiple times a week class or spread over a year or 2 years to get yourself to that advanced master level?
Right. Well, thank you so much, Andrew.
You're welcome, man. Take it easy. Good talking to you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. All right. We've got a hand up. Greg's signal's on mute. Greg.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. It's been a while since we talked. What's going on with you?
So much, man. Um, I won't go too deep into my personal stuff with work, but you know how I said there was a chance I'd get kicked off the group?
Yep.
Yeah, so I did.
Did you go to
I didn't.
the other swim group?
I'm mainly just working with some of the younger ones. It kind of sucked, so I just feel like uninvested. You know what I mean? And it's just general feeling of, and I think a lot of people, especially millennials, are going through this, constantly investing into something and not getting back, like you said to the previous call, not getting back what you believe in return.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go into that and also some of the, if I could, some other personal stuff. I don't know. What do you think? I've heard like, it's a depression and futility thing that needs to be addressed to heal this. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it, but I'd also say that you've been hitting your head against this stone for a long time, that you've given yourself some metaphorical traumatic brain injuries, and I think you need to try your hand in something else.
Different job entirely, so no more swim coaching, right?
I didn't say that. I said try your hand in something else. Okay?
So not completely switching away, but just trying a part-time of something else without necessarily dropping this.
Something else. You obviously need to be financially secured. If you've got clients already, hold on to them, but you got to expand your doorways into something else. Okay?
Yeah. What do you think?
What
do you think?
You could very easily go and take yoga teacher training and in a 150-hour class be a yoga teacher. You're in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
You could easily become a fucking yoga teacher in a place full of yoga teachers. Okay, you can do a variety of other things that already keep your highly athletic body in its athletic state. You can go and find a climbing studio and become a climbing instructor, learn about climbing. You go pick up tennis, okay? You can be an instructor in many different things. You've already learned to master the teaching through swimming. You could be a multi-sport teacher. Okay?
Yeah. Interesting. I was thinking of something more like I have a little bit of experience in like logistics coordinator, but
you won't do well in those sit-down jobs. Okay?
yeah.
You just won't do well. And then you're going to get caught up in office politics, and it's just going to be miserable for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
So stick to athletic coaching.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
All right, you've still got another 10 years easy to do it. Okay? You can go longer than that, but stick to broaden yourself to a more than one sport. Okay? Like I said, you can go take a yoga teacher training class at 150 hours, and that's like 3 months, and become a yoga teacher. Okay? You can do physical weight training and start doing weight training with individual people at multiple different gyms. Okay? And in LA, people make fortunes off that shit. Okay? There have been many rags to riches stories from personal trainers. Okay?
Okay.
You could hybrid swimming training for the body and weight training. You'd be such a unique body trainer where you could teach people how to do powerful athletic swimming to train the body, working with the weights and doing the yoga for flexibility. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you would be one hell of a unique athletic trainer. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably also do like maybe CrossFit training or triathlon,
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
like that.
Go do American Ninja. Try out for American Ninja. Okay?
That's funny that you say that. I think that had I had a little different life, I would have gone down one of those routes because that's
Listen,
something I was pretty good as a
one
kid.
guy was 57 and just did the American Ninja third place. You're not too old. You can still do it. Okay?
Okay. Got to work on that flexibility. My hips are not.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you can
So
get it.
stay.
You can get that through yoga and Pilates. Period. Okay?
Okay.
That's another thing.
Why?
You can take a Pilates training class. So you see swimming, Pilates, weight training, yoga, and you teach all of that to one student at a time, and you give them a weekly swimming, Pilates, yoga, weight training, and dietary process. You're an all-service trainer for a person. Okay?
Yeah. It's not a
And
bad idea, actually.
you find the wealthy people that want to pay for that level of training. You're talking $200 a week per person. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's $800 per person per month. You get 6 people. That's good money. Okay. And again, you
Let
have
me.
the coaching part down. You have the training part down. And just because you got fired from another job just meant that they were threatened by your good coaching energy. Because I remember talking to you privately about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that I was fired. I'm just off the group. I'm still at the company. It's
Yeah,
just.
I get it. You're removed from that position where you were the head coach because you offended somebody when you really were offending. You were trying to get them to get up and do their actual fucking work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was a whiny ass little bitch kid. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
To
Okay.
work with people who want to actually work hard. Learn to train in multi-sports training. That's my advice for you. Okay. That's
I
the
like
hand.
it. I think long term, a goal of mine has always been maybe having like a sports academy,
Yeah.
something big.
Yeah. Having your own gym.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is the start of branching out. and kind of starting my own business. Kind of tired of working for other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you about a little more personal. So addressing the depression and futility, I think, is really the key for my healing next step, right?
All right. So I have been talking to you for going on 6 years now.
Longer.
7
I'm
years,
30. I
8
talked to
years,
you
yeah.
first.
A long time.
Probably
A
a
long
decade.
time we've been talking. All right. We have addressed this before. Okay. And you're coming back to a subject matter you think you can't defeat. You said earlier many of the millennials are experiencing a depression. It's because it was imprinted on you as a young kid through school, through the journey of the culture, through the lack of opportunity, etc., etc. You have to change your stars, quite literally. Where I believe the multi sport journey, learning it, will help you break that depression. Because there's too much tied into the mythos of being a swim instructor. And I think that just regenerates depression when you can't be the top in the field in it because you're such a competitor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what's making you think you can't beat it. But you add yoga, you add weight training, you add biathlon training, you add some dietary stuff to it. You're a multi sport trainer. And like I said, for those people who are high end producers and CEOs, having somebody like you to force their ass to do that stuff, they will pay for that. And they will pay for you to be an asshole to them. Okay? Not that you are an asshole, but that's what's going to be when you're getting a high level producer to get that athletic journey going in them.
Okay.
There is
I
why I
like
think
that.
the depression. Okay.
So it's just the one dimensionality is the depression. My question was essentially like, what's the heart?
Because you're competing against yourself and you're not going to be the top in that field because your state is limited. You are in a state where the competition is too much. If you were in Minnesota or if you were in Florida or you were in some other state, you could make it to the top of the city, but the competition and the internal rivalries are too much. Okay? Therefore, break out.
Yeah, I had an invitation to go to Seattle, or I guess an opportunity but I just don't want to go there. You know what I mean? I like where I am.
I get it. If you like, I'm not telling you to move. I'm saying you gotta realize the one dimensionality is why this cycle of depression keeps coming back.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was thinking that it was something maybe a little different and not related to this, because there's this, you know how I talk about the entity issue.
Yeah. I think
is
the entity is also related to the one dimensionality in you, and it's a competition process. And the cycle of depression keeps that entity energy refreshed, going away, coming back, disappearing, coming away, going back. And it's because of you're not maintaining a growing frequency. You have a static frequency that slightly lowers, raises a little bit, goes back lower. You're not actively raising your frequency, even though you have a highly athletic body. That means the repeat grind is beginning to break down the greater cycle of higher frequency in you. And you need to get back into that learning state, that learning mode, that 150-hour yoga class, that going and mastering, the climbing wall to the point you can become a teacher at it, going out and becoming a personal weight trainer. Okay. So at those other things, you're going to watch that depression and that entity energy just begin to reduce and reduce and reduce. Okay.
Okay. And you'd think, so from a spiritual standpoint, I feel like I can't address it anymore. Everything I've done spiritually, I've actually done very successfully, but it's like my ability to heal spiritually, it feels like it keeps diminishing and diminishing.
Which is the same thing of the depression returning. Okay. Every time the
Yeah.
depression returns, all the hard work you did spiritually seems to be for naught. It's because you let your frequency go into depression versus breaking the depression long before it has any real strength inside you. And that's the cycle been imprinted on you from very young, age 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay?
So this all has to come down to just me being successful and independent and breaking my depression.
Through an expansion journey that keeps you raising your frequency versus banging your head against the same wall of swimming over and 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 over again and threatening to quit and coming back, threatening to quit, coming back. Okay?
Yeah.
You're really good at being a trainer. Go beyond swimming. And I think your stars will begin to change enough for you to realize that once you get some cool students and cool professional people who truly want your mind to help them train their body, your frequency will stay raised enough that you'll be able to realize the cycle of depression is all that's erasing your good work. Okay?
Yeah. Well, you know that cycle of depression, when I was doing some serious shadow work, it's like as soon as I had a super high spiritual peak, the depression would literally come out of nowhere and bring me back down. I didn't understand it.
That's the
Like I
pendulum.
didn't know how to address.
That's the
Yeah.
pendulum. It swings to the other side. Yeah.
So this is just persistence and branching
Also,
out a little bit.
like yoga will have a body stretching thing that can remove depression in you if you learn to do it right. Okay. You know,
What
going and
kind of
taking
yoga?
any of the yogas. Right now, it's just go and take it first, and then figure
Okay.
out the teacher you want to train with. There's so many yoga teacher training courses in where you're at. There's probably 1,000 every time you can throw a stone, and there's probably 500 teachers within a mile of you. Okay. And you just got to find
Yeah.
a teacher you like that you want to go and take the yoga teacher training course with. Okay.
Okay. Okay. That sounds like a plan, Andrew.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. I got to move on to the next caller.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Always.
All right. All right. We have Lambda has his hand up. Lambda, signal to unmute.
Oh, hello.
How's it going, brother?
It's going good. I would like some advice.
Okay, I can give advice.
I'm going for, I believe, like a 5-day trip up to see my family members and that. I was wondering, what should I pack?
Where are you going to?
I'm going to Cooktown, so that's like the forestry stuff, bit out bush.
What are you going to do there while you're there?
I'm going to visit my father, who's, I think, somewhere around Palm Creek. And I'm hopefully going to go fishing at like the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay. What does your father do for a job?
He does prospecting, so he looks for gold amongst the hills and stuff.
Really?
Yes. He still does prospecting. He still finds stuff.
Would you ever want to try that?
I thought about it, and it does sound pretty nice.
You only got to try it for a couple months. Okay. What is the relationship between you and your father?
I'm very disconnected. I haven't seen him in like 10 plus years. I keep in text only like recently, but.
So what prompted the journey to go up and visit?
I had 2 weeks holiday, which started now.
Okay.
And I had some time. I'm like, you know what? I have some family up north. My sister, stuff like that. I'm like, I promised them I'd go camping and stuff up north, and I'm like, might as well do it.
Okay, so you had a vacation plan. Where are you mainly going to be staying, and who are you going to be staying with?
I'm just gonna be not going camping or anything like that. I'm gonna be staying with my older sister in her house.
Okay.
So I won't be going bush, stuff like that, living amongst the snakes and stuff.
And how far away does your father live?
He probably, well, he has like a nomadic thing going on with his prospecting, but he mainly lives like 20 minutes, probably
Okay.
half an
So
hour down the road.
he's not far away. Okay.
Mm.
Have you made any plans with them to get together and meet up?
Meet and greet, but nothing much.
All right, so you're asking what to pack. All right, so pack long sleeve pants, short sleeve, long and short sleeve, sweats if you need sweats. And I don't know really what the weather's going to be like there, but a variety of things. Bring a jumper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be gone for 10 days, pack for 14 days. That's my advice. You're better to overpack than underpack.
It's like 4 days. It's nothing much.
Okay, you're only going for 4 days. All right. Okay, pack for 6 days then. Okay. So you don't have to reuse clothes.
Mm. All right, that's everything I have.
All right, well, and also talk to your father. See if you can open something up again. And it's not like you're really doing anything challenging for your life right now.
Nah.
Okay.
I'll see if I can get some waves of the trade.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, well, I'll wave goodbye.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Anybody else want to call in? Click the reaction buttons. Click raise your hand. We got some chicken shits.
Reoccurring theme.
Yeah, reoccurring theme. If you are out in the interweb nets, in the chat room in Rumble or in YouTube, or listening to us on Twitter, you can go and click on the link and come to the Zoom room and have an opportunity to have a conversation with me. It's not that hard. Click the link. Don't be a chicken shit. I see Sean is in the room. We're going to force a call on to Sean. Sean, signal to unmute. As he is rushing back to his computer.
Turn off WoW.
And Sean, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going, Sean?
Awesome, good. And I resent that. I am an elephant shit. I'm not a chicken.
You're a big elephant shit.
How's it going?
Good. How's the house hunt go for you?
It's at a it's held up in the queue as I'm doing a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
It's still in progress. I'm still in touch with my helper.
Okay, that's good. Like
Yeah.
I told you, just make it a regular part of your journey, and you don't have to rush yourself into a house. You just get the right thing for you at the right time.
Also, I took what you said to heart about go once a month, and so even though I haven't gone yet, I'm in more frequent contact with the person.
Okay.
Also, I get the feeling I might be moving more than once in the near future, so I'm starting to second guess investing in a full property. And I'm thinking I might want to temporarily rent where I can also take clients, and then when my situation
You can do
changes.
that too. You could also get an RV and travel around the country.
Ah, that's my dream.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You can technically do both.
Yeah.
Have a house and an RV. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wait. There. Sorry. I heard applause and I thought that was Joel putting up an applause sound effect.
Nope. That's just Spirit in the background going, yay, he's getting it.
It was, let me turn off World of Warcraft. Thanks, Joel. Yeah. So I did get my bike after 8 years of it being punctured and not used. I just got it repaired.
Wow.
Yep, I
After
got it.
8 years, you fixed a bike.
Got it back 2 hours ago.
Good. Get out and ride it.
I'm gonna. So it's dark now, but
Yeah, obviously,
yeah.
You know what to do. Be safe. All right, Sean, we got somebody with their hand up. I'm gonna call
Nice. All
All
right.
right, Sean, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, Matt, I got your signal to unmute. You got your hand up. Matt, signal to unmute. Matt, you have your hand up.
Oh yeah, brother. Sorry.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
going? Yeah, where are you
I'm doing
calling
good. From Vancouver, Washington.
Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
I had one thing I want to talk about, but first I just wanted to say I appreciate the advice you gave me last time. It helped a lot. Every time I talk to you, I feel like something happens, and something good happens. So, but yeah, you were telling me to do the Epsom bath last time. And it helped my skin a lot. But it also I feel like it as I was kind of just relaxing there for a couple hours, kicking back, uh, I I started just kind of massaging my leg, and all of a sudden this giant knot that I feel like has been in there for like 10 years just released, and all of a sudden I could walk like 1,000 times better. It was amazing. But yeah, so thanks for that. But I guess I have kind of another question that's a little more maybe esoteric, possibly.
Go ahead.
It's sort of about are you familiar with something called central heterochromia?
Say that again.
Are you familiar with something called central heterochromia? It's like it's when there's like two different colors in the eyes. Familiar with that at all?
So the iris has two colors or multiple colors?
Yeah, so both eyes, there's like a light gold around the iris, and then the pupil is different color.
Yes, yes, I'm familiar with that. Yep.
Is that where does that come from exactly? Or if you know, I mean, I'm not.
That's DNA lineage programming. So people that have ring colored, so there comes a variety of different versions. And then there are people whose eye color regularly change every couple years. So that is built into the body's lineage. The mother and father, their mother and father, their mother and father, generally 10 generations back, where you'll have energy in the eyeballs, in the pupils, that will have specific skill sets that unlock in the third eye, or a unique perceptive ability when dealing with materials such as clay, metals, glass, when you're in the forming stage. It'll be something that allows you to perceive the object in a three-dimensional state in your mind, being able to forge something out of a rock and it being a statue at the end. It gives artistic architectural experience in the brain that allows you to make hands-on manifestations. It can be very much seeing into the spiritual world too. But it's something that's passed down in a lineage, and when you're born in that lineage, all you got to do is go through the activating journey of it.
Right on. Yeah, I definitely have been feeling activated this last month. So I don't know, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. I was, it's just a very distinct feature, and I, just kind of curious about it. But that makes sense. Well, great. Yeah, I mean, this whole month I've just kind of, I feel like I've made, strides as far as controlling my emotions. Faith has been, I think, set in stone at this point. So,
Okay. How's work going for you?
It's been good. Works good. I've been kind of taking a little bit of a factory reset, a couple weeks. But money's coming in anyway, so it's business is good. It could be a lot better. But I needed to get my mind right, get my body right. So
and you got time
yeah. And I'm meeting all my neighbors. We're all kind of forming a nice little community. Kids playing. I mean, it's I'm in a new state this year, and it's just everything's just been it's been a roller coaster, but I'm starting to look over the mountain. I can see where I'm going now, so it's
good.
Yeah.
Do you have any
I want to thank you.
Welcome.
Other questions. Well, I mean, nothing that comes to mind, man. I mostly just like to listen.
Okay.
Take it in.
Well,
but,
I got another caller waiting. Thanks for calling in.
No worries. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. So, Jonah, signal to unmute.
All right. Hey there. Hi.
Hi, Jonah. Where are you calling from? Oh, you muted again. You got to unmute, Jonah.
There you go. Yeah, near Seattle, Washington.
Okay. What do you want to talk about today?
If it's all right, I would be curious what you feel would be most helpful for me to know. And my galactic history is a curiosity to me.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself so I can tune in.
What would be helpful for me to talk about?
Career path, family, children, hobbies, pastimes. Just a sample of who you are.
Okay. So I've been doing some watercolor painting and a little bit of weaving. I've been doing some sculpting as far as creative things. I have parents and step-parents. My birth father took a rapid downhill in his health, and that brought up his mortality and my mortality for me. I'm definitely looking at career path. I was thinking of maybe technology. I've been working landscaping. What else can I tell you?
How old are you?
41 now.
Do you have any experience with music?
With music, not a whole lot. I've done a couple of chords on the guitar and a little bit on the piano, mostly like a drum beat, like maybe shamanic drumming.
So my first piece of advice for you is invest into a musical instrument that isn't the guitar.
That is not a guitar.
It is not a stringed instrument.
Okay.
Now, when I'm looking in you, there have been many minstrels in you, and that's an old world term.
Okay.
Where it's a folky type energy, where oftentimes the minstrel had a lyre, which was a type of guitar, or they had a clarinet, they had a flute, they had a trumpet, they had a saxophone. My advice is invest into a reed or an embouchure-based instrument like a trumpet. Okay. Those are really cheap right now. Go take lessons, learn how to read sheet music, make it a hobby and a pastime, learn how to have fun at it. And what it'll do is unlock some energies in you that will help catalyze stagnation in you. Okay.
Okay.
Just having it in your life as a creative flow, that's a hobby and pastime that you're working better at, will just help change some of the ups and downs and bumps of energetic life that you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As for you going into technology, how long you been doing landscaping for?
3 years now, recently. Mm-hmm.
What kind of work did you do before that?
We spoke earlier. I worked dishwashing. I worked at a friend's farm, and I've traveled a bit. I lived in India and Nepal. I've done kind of various and sundry a little bit. I've worked as a courtesy clerk. I worked at Washington State Farms, or Washington State.
When did we talk last?
I don't remember the exact time, but I feel like it was within the last couple of months. You really grilled me for not launching.
We're back at that. I really think technology is just going to be beating your head against the wall.
Interesting. There is an astrologer through the Art of Living that thought I'd be especially good at technology. But that was mostly his read.
Self-employed situation where you already had technological skill sets. Yes. Okay.
I do have a computer science degree, but I don't know what that counts for.
So when did you graduate?
2019, I'm pretty sure.
All right, so you're not that far out of date.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the computer office life would be not beneficial for you. That's what I think. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
You could find a way to create your own business, teaching people how to use computers, fixing computers, building your own computers, selling a gaming computer, grabbing bare bones kits, filling them out. There's always room in the market for people to do that. I'm going to push a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm just going to get out and say this.
Okay.
You should look into going into a culinary arts school.
Okay. Cool.
And working at one of those 5-star restaurant places and giving it a solid year and a half and 2 years. And at the end of it, you will learn a lot about yourself, a lot about food alchemy. It will expand you. And if you're able to keep that musical instrument playing, I think at the end of that year and a half, 2 years journey to culinary arts school, you will have a greatly expanded you.
Okay.
And I think a whole different set of fields and opportunities will be there for you.
Okay.
There's just there's a chef inside you, dozens of lifetimes, just like there was a minstrel in you. All right. And when these energies come forward, these are not always career paths. They're things that amplify the quality of life that you can have.
Sure. Okay.
Then that helps open up new realms of meeting people that are more in your soul family alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Good friends that become incredible friends.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
There's a little bit more here. So when we talked, I was grilling you on failure to launch. What did you get from that session?
Well, there's a couple of things that I forgot to mention, about some of my spiritual path following Amma, the hugging saint, and some other things. But I felt like I've gone in circles a bit, struggling within myself almost on a mental health level.
Because you don't have the right spiritual soul family around you.
Mm-hmm.
You're just missing those key peoples. And that's why I suggested music that will help bring those people energetically to like an attraction pheromone. And working in the culinary arts you will meet some very unique people that are far more in alignment to you, that can become lifelong friends, even if you don't stay in that journey.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's about really helping you narrow down, getting those right people in your life so that they can catalyze you and you can catalyze them, and you guys can be champions for each other during your growth journeys. You don't
Right.
have championing for you, cheerleading for you. And
Right.
everyone wants that in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that for a while, that I have to find, groups of people and sift through and kind of find a handful of people here and there. I've tried to do work through the Mankind Project for like inner kind of work. It's a men's group work, and just tried to do it on my own as well. And it seems like we're just at a broken up, disharmony, disunity consciousness. So I'm not sure where to find people, or I felt like I had to do it on my own.
The factionalism and tribalism enforced onto us by the political parties, modern corruption style that has bled into all the media systems, has really broken people. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
With the political divides and so forth?
It's spread into everyday human culture. That political divide has just broken people.
Mm-hmm.
Even non-political people are broken too. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They move the human spirit of goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we need people to help unbreak
people. Right. 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 I'm just listening, unless you prompt me.
Any other questions that you want to ask?
Oh, I was curious about the galactic history, if that's useful, or if that would give me that sounds cool to hear.
Let me think. There are some aspects that I can bring up. So I'm going to track back to 6,200 years ago. And this would be right about where Alaska is, that jungle vicinity. And you lived mostly underground. And you would come above ground when the winters ended. Seasons.
Hey, Andrew, it sounds like we lost you. It's very hard to hear you.
Let me switch devices.
Yeah, hey.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was just me. I lost you on going below ground.
1 second. I got to change devices.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if it's useful, I mean, while you're changing, I think I still do have a number of purposes and so forth I can bring forth. I'm not too sure about the best ways to heal other than meditate. Go ahead.
All right, I'm back. So
Yeah,
what was the last thing you heard?
Something about, I'll go back quite a bit in a time stream. I heard something about going above or below ground for some time, but a lot of that sounded garbled to me.
All right, so in the Moscow, Russia area, 6,200 years ago, you generally lived an underground life because the challenging of the winters were so strong. That had been the culture there for many thousands of years. Now, what was so important about this lifetime was the camaraderie that was created because of the harshness and challenges of life. Incredibly powerful connections were made. That lifetime has been influencing every other lifetime since then to find that human connection where everybody worked together for the greater good. Everybody was learning every skill. No one was left behind. Energy. And you've been trying to beating your head against that repetitive wall. And the few lifetimes that you do get it, it waves throughout the next lifetime you don't have it.
Okay.
And what's that's telling me is you as a soul have been on the verge of becoming a teacher, but aren't doing it. You're not giving yourself the mastering journey of being the teacher who forms those groups, molds those groups, trains those groups, controls their ego, makes sure that the narcissists aren't in those groups, finds those soul family members, and nurtures them to be long-term relationships so that they can be repeated lifetime after lifetime.
Okay. Okay.
Now, when I track further back, I'll go 750,000 years ago. Here's where you're living in Atlantis, roughly where Angkor Wat would be, the cities in Malaysia, the ancient places in Malaysia. And best way to describe it, you are a being who makes machines that have no moving parts. So you grab a rock and imprint onto it a psychic energy that makes it a machine that can do a variety of things. It can be a calculator, it can make sewing equipment, it can do all sorts of things. It's a psychic imprinting onto objects without moving parts for them to become useful tools and machines. Now, what's the significance of this life, and how does it apply as galactic history? It means you have an incredibly potent and powerful creative mind that can imprint on things. And you got to master this imprinting journey on objects. That's why you've been doing watercoloring and dabbling with clay and statues, stuff like that. That's something that you should expand on more. Imprinting your mind power into subjects and objects, making them specialized tools of magic and science.
Okay. I do notice, you keep going if you want. I do notice that my total psychic energy, my vibe, my energy will imprint in the things that I do, or I can clear objects kind of like using a violet flame, or just using, if my energy is strong, that it also clears the things around me as well.
Yes, it does. But you don't have the cycle of people around you so that you're amplified like 10,000 fold. If you have the right cycle of people, imagine being amplified 10,000 fold where you're already at.
Right. Yeah, that would be great.
It would be a total life change for you. And that's where you should be operating at.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it's what is most relevant here. So recently, it came up that maybe I have kind of Jesus complex, or some like an empathic person that feels overly responsible for people or trying to save or teach people. Like the teacher is coming out, but I also have personal stuff to take care of. And
because
and people
it's still perverted in you. It goes back to that life in Russia and the spiritual beating your head against the wall. You can't repeat it lifetime to lifetime. And it's because people are going through grand karmic resolutions. And to get a cycle of people to be in a rebirth cycle that's really for the positive is challenging, especially in today's society. But we are in the time of human potential is changing.
Yeah.
The wall and will it into existence. It's why I brought up music for you. It's why I brought up culinary arts for you. It will pull those people out of the ethers and bring them to you, even if you don't continue it as a career path.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you want to say anything about Amma the Hugging Saint feels like one of the most enlightened people that I know of. I also followed Sri Ravi Shankar of Art of Living. He has breathing exercises that I'm doing my best to do. I don't know beyond the culinary and the wind, like doing better to meditate, or I don't know what else, if you want to give some hints as what might be useful in my self-healing, self-completion.
Start with spiritual contract revocations. Learn
Okay.
to write your own, create a more advanced system of develop your own inner aspect of spirituality that's based on everything you know, and it's your journey into the next level of spiritual expansion.
Okay.
Prayer, ritual, ceremony, advancing your daily practice, including as many techniques. Variety is so important. Okay.
Okay.
I have the Living the Mystical Life daily course you can do. I have the basics class. All of those are available. Advancing your journey where it's not just meditation, it's really getting the body part of the healing journey too, getting the body in alignment so those knots that we have and we ignore get taken care of, get regular body work, and begin the journey of mastering self-healing and self-nurturing. That is self-love. You master self-healing, you master self-nurturing, all the other spiritual journeys become far easier for you.
Sure.
We are in a time where love is the most vital part of the change of human potential. By mastering self-healing and self-nurturing, we get opened up to the infinite potentials and possibilities again. Mastering forgiveness. Okay? All of those things are the basics. When you become masters at those, all of the other spiritual experiences become simple for you.
Yeah. It makes sense on some level. I do feel like I'm advanced on some level, but also, like I was pointed out, I was going into my head as a survival technique, too heady or whatever. And this other thing.
It's escapism. Okay, what are you escaping from?
Maybe emotional pain, or like I just feel like I could be more grounded on a level that's emotional and communicates to other people. Relating to other people can be difficult, maybe because I see a lot of what might be going on for them, or just freaks me out. Just the overall.
And because you don't have the people in your world are searching and becoming a person who smells the mouse fart next door. Okay? You become over vigilant.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Okay? There's a bit of, and you're from a spirit point of view, there's a bit of desperation to get these people in your life.
Right.
Okay? You gotta love yourself enough to stop desperation. And by doing that, you will change your pheromones of attraction. Okay? Love yourself enough to turn off the empathy, turn off the overcaring. And call it an act of self-love.
Is it kind of like not over scanning things and just pulling within myself almost?
That's just a bad habit that's become a psychic brat inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just bad habit. But learning the journey, you didn't know it was a bad habit. Okay.
Yeah.
It was only when you mastered the bad habit did you realize, fuck, this sucks. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. 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 It also sucked having my own gifts used against me in terms of like destroying myself with my own mind or my own self-judgment.
Imagine if you had self-healing and self-nurturing as a lesson to counter that early on in your journey.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You'd have countered all of it.
Right. Right. As far as the body goes, I was having some body work from a local person who seems pretty good. I do have a neck, apparently x-rays at a chiropractor showed me a neck issue, which might have come from a car crash a couple of years ago where I was going too fast. And then a low back is twisting a bit. I don't know if I'm getting overly metaphysical, but I think it has to do with my gut instinct and those energy centers and not feeling safe in my family, the world, and so forth. I have Jewish heritage. So it's probably generational.
So what that is your brain is overpowering your heart, and your brain is disconnecting you from your gut brain. Have you ever heard the term gut brain?
Sure, that neural bunch of stuff. Okay. Yeah, in the gut.
Your brain, your heart, and your gut are meant to be one organ. There is zero separation. Your head, because of culture, society, etc., dominates your journey.
Sure.
Bring the brain back to the heart. Get the brain and heart to work together so they stop competing. And once you got that stop of competing energy, bring the brain and the heart into the gut and reconnect it. Make that a regular part of your daily practice where you actively bring the brain into the heart and visualize the left lobe and the right lobe of the brain centered on the heart. And once you really get that held there, bring the heart with the brain centered on it into the gut, meld it to the gut, and fill your body full of light. So your spiritual consciousness center comes from the gut and not centered in the brain. And that will help realign a lot of your spiritual gyroscopes so that the three things can become one again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 Yeah.
Getting to your gut brain will advance intuition. Stop over sniffing the mouse farts next door, because intuition will override your empathy. As for having a Jewish heritage, all that means is your sets of unique karma are different than others, and it relates to your journey of spirituality. Are you going to follow the Jewish heritage, or are you going to go down the path of self-exploration?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And down the path of self-exploration means, like everybody else that's in the path of self-exploration, you make the journey away from that perception and open yourself up to brand new potentials of spiritual journey and expansion and soul family members, etc., etc.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, I think the Jewish is powerful. There's a lot of Jewish mysticism. Sure. I like a lot of the teaching stories. The Jewish people currently seem fairly neurotic, but powerful too. It's
sure, anyway. But every culture in the world is like that. Okay. Okay. Every culture in the world is neurotic. What does the Jewish people have in general? Better work ethic. Okay. To me, that's their biggest advantage as a culture. They have far better work ethic. Okay.
Yeah.
And work ethic goes a long way at getting a rich and fulfilled life. Okay.
Right. Again, I'll let you lead. I'm curious if there is any other threads from galactic history or other things you want to tug on or ask me.
No, that's about it right now. I'm gonna come to an end of the show already, but thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I really appreciate this. I'll definitely
You're welcome, man. Take it easy. Have a great day.
It easy. Yeah, you too, man.
All right, everybody. We will be back tomorrow Friday for the Loosh Report. We have a lot of things to talk about. A Trump assassination, exploding pagers, the Diddy arrest, and a whole bunch more stuff happening between tonight and tomorrow. The solar flares continue. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Loosh Report. And this coming Sunday, we have our live webinar where we'll be doing the next part of the Galactic history. You go to the website, learn about the Galactic History webinar, and we look forward to seeing you all there this coming Sunday, 12 noon EST, for the Galactic History webinar.